Hello everyone, I am Manish Pandey. Welcome back to the UiPath Document Understanding video series. In the previous video, we discussed the overview of UiPath Document Understanding process template. Now in this video, we are going to create a live project using the same template and extract the data from an invoice document. We will open UiPath Studio, and from the start, as you can see here, we have option new from template. Here we can search that template. So this is the other option. You can find it from here. And the previous that you saw, by clicking on templates and then scroll down, and you can see it from here. This one. And then we create this. Click on use template, enter the name. So we'll say UiPath Document Understanding Process Invoice Extraction. Okay, here we'll mention invoice template, process template. Now let's create it. Okay, now you see all the dependency have been added here, and by default this main action center has been opened here. Now to show you how to use this UiPath document understanding process template, I will take three scenarios. So basically we'll cover first, we will use main attended workflow to run process in attended mode, where the bot will get the file automatically from a queue and it will start processing, means it's going to use queue. Second, we will run again in the attended mode, but this time it will show a pop-up. It means the file picker, and it will ask us to select a file manually, like which file, which document you want to process. And finally, the third scenario, we will use main action center workflow, where the validation will be performed using action center, and here we'll be using queue to get the items and then process that. So I will show you how to configure each scenario step by step, and we will use the invoice document for all the scenarios. So let's start. First, we will remove all the unnecessary folders, documents, dependency. First, we'll see the dependency. So as you know, all the activities related to this document understanding.ml package is coming with this intelligent OCR. So we can remove this package. Second, we will remove the dependency of UiPath testing activity, this package. Now let's open this project file explorer, and we will delete mocks and then test and user guide. These three folders we will delete it from here. And let's refresh it. Now it looks good. First, we need to look at our document, like which document you are planning to process. So we are planning to process invoice document. So let's see that invoice documents. So this is the first invoice, this is the second, third, and fourth. All these are unique, right? These are from separate vendor. Now we'll have to extract the data which is required. First, we will open taxonomy manager, which is very important. Now we have certificate of filing, which is part of this one. We'll leave as it is. We'll just look for the invoice. Okay, here we have an invoice document, which is a part of group semi-structured document and category financial. Got it. Now these are the fields added to this invoice document. Now we'll look into our documents and see which one is not required based on our four documents. So we have name, we'll take this name. Vendor address, we'll also take this. Billing name, billing address, we'll take billing VAT number. I will check if this is available in our document or not. Okay, so this is not there. So we will remove this VAT number, this one, billing VAT number. We'll click on this delete from right side and delete it. Shipping address, let's see if we have shipping address. We have billing address. This is also billing address, and issue to that address means billing address. Shipping address also not required. So this way you have to find out all these which is not required. Vendor VAT number, this is also not required. Payment address, this is not available in the documents. Due date, let's see if we have due date somewhere. Date, balance due. So we will remove due date as well. Invoice number needed. PU number also available in one of the invoice document. Payment terms, this is there. Shipping charges, we'll see shipping charges, which you can see it from here. Okay, this is not available. Instead of removing, you can go here and you can remove it directly from here itself. Shipping charges, tax amount and net amount. Tax amount, I think we have total, discount and items. Okay, let's go to the items and let's see. We have line number, description, item PU number. So item PU number is not there. We can remove it. Unit price, line amount, part number. Part number is also not there in our document. Okay, now we are done with the document and fields. We'll close it. Once we'll close that, as you know, this taxonomy JSON file is updated. Now after updating the taxonomy, we will open config file. Let's go to the data folder. This is the config file. Go to settings and here you see we have few options. We have keys like temporary local folder. So we need to verify these folders available in this folder or not. So in data, we have only three: temp folder, exports, and example documents. Temp folder, exports, and example documents. Okay, but we have receipts training and invoice training. Now I don't want to process receipts, so I will remove it. I will go with the invoices training. I will create this folder if later on if this is used. So inside this, I will create this folder. Okay, now we have classifier learning file. This is correct. You see it from here, document processing, and this is the learning file. Okay, now we have OCR endpoint and the receipt endpoint. Will remove it. We'll only go with the invoices. This one. Classification form extractor. So if you want, we can remove form extractor because we'll be using machine learning here and we'll be using this endpoint, the public endpoint. I'll keep this as it is, this form extractor. Here we have option always validate classification. Yes, we want to always validate the classification and then extraction as well. Do you want to skip the training? If you want to skip, you can set it true, else set it false. So I don't want to skip the training for classifier and extractor. So I will set it as it is. This is for the classification threshold, which is set to 0. So it should be like between 0 and 1. So 0.5 means we can say 50%. Target files. This is the key that we are going to use when we'll be using queue. So target file will pass in our queue items and there will pass our file. We'll keep as it is. Div formats will keep as it is. Action catalog, action folder path. So once we'll use action center, these are needed. Here says that queue name is du underscore input queue. If you want to go with this queue name, you can use that, else you can modify that. I will take this one as it is. The queue path I can take the folder. Let's see if I have shared folder or whatever. So I'll be using this finance folder here. Okay, so this is done. Now go to constants. In the constants, let's keep all as it is. Go to assets. Now in the assets, we need to create all the required assets here with the value. Now as you see, currently we have 17. We need to remove it, which is not needed. So these are required, means API key. We need to add this in the assets so that every time bot will get it from assets. Okay, instead of putting in a variable and then taking that, so that API key will be storing in the assets. Now always validate classification. So as you saw here, it is already there in the settings, but here it says that true and false. But later on, if you plan to change that, you say I don't want to validate the classification, because for these type of documents we always get more than 80 or 90% confidence score, and this always gets classified successfully correctly. So later on, if you change your mind, you set it to false. So that's why we need to create it an asset. Okay, we'll keep as it is. For XM catalog, so here we need to create these assets so that we can use it. If we need to change that, we can change it as well. Here we are just calling that, means here you see. So we need XM catalog for the folder path, storage bucket name. While validating that classification and you know extraction results, we need these details from the action center. Now this is the queue name, queue path, classification threshold. If you want to change that, you can change it. So I don't need that, I can remove it. I will keep 0.5 itself, or I can directly update it there. Autocorrect, I am not going to go with this autocorrect. I will remove it. Div format, I don't want to pass it from assets, because whatever div formats is added there, it's enough, I can say. So that's why I'll remove these. So I'll remove this way. So we need to now create 11 assets. Okay. Now we have invoice post processing and receipts post processing. So I'll just go with the invoice. I'll remove the receipts one. Now we have autocorrect OCR mistakes. I'll remove this. This is also not needed. Here in the invoice post processing, we have few fields that we need to verify. Do we have tax amount, shipping charges, discount, mandatory fields? This is okay. This is okay. Confidence for this, will remove this shipping address, because we are not taking, we are just taking as a billing address. So if you want to change that, you can change it to billing address. I'll just go with the date, invoice number and PO number. Here other confidence field, if you want to change that, you can change it from here. So I will say I want to change shipping charges, billing, these things, due date, payment terms. Okay, I'll just go with these details. If you need to change that, you can change it. Got it. Save it. Now after that, we need to add those required details, means we need to add assets and then queue, storage buckets, XM catalog. Now to create all these things, it can take some time. And also to create these assets, it can take time. What you can do, UiPath, this template is giving one option, quick start. Okay, let me open this. In the quick start, as you see, there is a config file. So whatever details you will add here, those will be created in the orchestrator. If we'll pass storage bucket as a type storage bucket, so storage bucket will be added with this name. We'll say Q will be added with this Q name. Asset, so this will be created with the this name, and whatever folder name we will pass here, that will be done. So whatever assets you want to create, you can add it here with the value, with the type as an asset, and then folder, that is finance for my case. Now we'll add catalog as well. So we'll update this Excel file first. We'll take all these assets from here, we'll paste here. Okay, so the first one, this is already there, we'll remove it. Now copy assets and paste it here. Okay, so these are going to be an asset. Here I will change that to finance. These folder are finance. So whatever name you will put here for the other types other than asset, that will be a name. So for storage bucket, if you want to create this way, that will be created. But we'll also go with the config. So it says that our queue name, so I will replace this. Queue name should be this one. So I will replace with this. Storage bucket name. So I will see if it is going to use somewhere. Okay, so there is no storage bucket name assigned here. We can take it here. So I'll say document understanding storage bucket, or I will say du underscore storage buckets. So this will be created. This will be the created as a queue name. Now we'll add one more as a action catalog. We'll take it from this drop down. Now whatever description you will add here, it will be added there. We'll say du underscore validation. So this catalog we are going to use for validation of the document understanding task, means the classification validation or extraction validation. So I will take this as a du underscore validation. Got it. Now three things we are adding. Now all these assets. For document understanding API key, we'll get the API key. I have already added in this in the text file. I'll pass it here. Now always validate classification. Yes, I will set it true. This one true. Do you want to skip the classifier training? No, I don't want to skip. False, false. Now here says that du action catalog name. What do you want to take it as a du action catalog name? So I will say this one, du underscore validation. So I will take it here. This will be the value for this one. Now folder will be finance. Storage bucket name will be this one. This is the value. This is the asset name and this is the value. But actually the storage bucket name will be this one, du underscore storage bucket. Path will be directory path. I think this is same, du underscore storage bucket. If it is getting called in the validation action center, means that there, then it will be same as this. Queue name will be this one, du underscore queue. We can change this one later if you have any confusion. Du underscore queue path. So queue path will be finance. Okay, let's save it. Now I will show you how to use this quick start one so that it can add these details directly. Okay, let's close this. You see there is a workflow initialize orchestrator. Here you see it's passing all the values, initializing all the values here, and even for the assets, buckets, task catalog, queue, everything. And also here we have a switch case inside the for each, means it's going to read all the config file. That config file, it will take one by one. It checks that the first one, is it the type is a storage bucket, then it will assign an endpoint and payload so that later on it can create storage buckets, and then here for assets, and then task catalog, and then queue. Correct? And after that it will create that. We'll click on step into. So first we'll be ready with the all the details. So as you see here, we don't have any queue in the finance. We don't have any storage bucket. We don't have any XM catalog, and we don't have assets here, right? Now let's step into. We will reach to this step here in the switch case. Let's add a breakpoint and continue. Okay, step into. I will also explain that. So first it found that based on the record, if you see in the locals, the first one, if we'll open this, is the type is a storage bucket. Okay, so based on this, it has found that case as a storage bucket. Now it's going to assign the endpoint and payload. Same way, it will do all these things for all the data available in the config, in the initialize orchestrator config, right? We'll step over one by one. And now you see here, Dej is going to launch, open this workflow, which is orchestrator request underscore post. Let's step into. Now it will call this activity orchestrator HTTP request, and then it is going to take endpoint and payload, and then it will add that. So for now, it has added storage bucket. So let's validate that. Go to a storage bucket and refresh it. So you see storage bucket has been added. We'll quickly click on continue, and you'll see all this data added. Let me remove the breakpoint from here because now it's going to create assets. So click continue. Okay, it looks it's completed successfully. Now let's go to the queues and validate all the records. So queue has been created, and the description you see. Storage bucket, you already saw that. Assets, let's validate it. Okay, you see here, this is also created. Task catalog, let's validate. This is also done. Okay, now we are done with all this important data. Now we'll close this, and now we will search here few things which we have removed. Few keys we removed from the settings and assets as well. Like it was auto enable OCR, auto OCR, something like that. Auto correct OCR, so that will not be getting error. See this one. So we have auto correction. We'll remove all these things. So because of key not available in the config, we will get an error. That's why we are going to remove this directly. So this we will find out and remove it from our workflow. This is not needed. Control F, this one. And from this read config, means this initialized config, we can say, we'll open this arguments. And as you remember, we removed few seeds, like we removed receipts, post processing, and autocorrect OCR mistakes. These we removed. Now we have updated here. Save it, save it. Search again, autocorrect. Now, so first scenario, we will go with the queue. So as this one, you see there is an argument. If you go to the data manager, let's fix this here. Go to the data manager and go to the arguments. You see in underscore use queue, this argument is set to false. Now first I will say I want to pass it to true. Okay. And to use this queue, first we should have a data in the queue. So here we don't have any option to add items to queue. What we need to do first, just for the testing, because in actual scenario, either you will have a separate queue already available with the data, and your boat, this current automation, we can say, this will run and get the files, get the transaction from that queue and start processing, right? Everything will not be there in only this automation. If you want to do, you can do it itself. You can add dispatcher and performer, everything into the one. But I'll say in actual scenario, let's say you have a separate queue and there is a separate automation running, which is like taking the data from somewhere, from email, downloading the attachment, verifying that, and adding the details like the file path to the queue. And then this automation will run and it will get transaction item, that file, and then it will start processing. What I will do, I'll quickly take an activity, add queue item. I'll put it on the top. Orchestrator folder path, I will take finance. Queue name, I will take du underscore input queue. From the item, I'll pass here. So you remember there was a key target file in the config. So we'll have to open that. Go to this data, open the config, and you will see that from here. So this we are going to use. It says that key in the transaction items dictionary that holds the path to the file to be processed. So we will pass it here, that key and the value. So for the items, what we'll do, we first take this file, copy as a path, this invoice, and for now I will paste it here and I will click save, and I will step into so that I can add this item to the queue. Now you see there is an error we are getting here. Let's see what is that. Okay, so let's configure the extractor first, because we removed few fields. We'll save it only because we removed that, so we just need to save it. Let's validate. Let's step into one more time and we'll automatically get that error. Okay, now the other one in the extract. We'll click on configure extractor and we'll save it one more time. We'll just open and save. Done. Step into one more time. And I hope this will be the final one. Let's close this Excel file. Now there is no validation error. Let's add items to queue. So currently it shows that there is an error, means there is a reference required here. Let's stop it here. Now for the reference, what we can do, we'll take this file name itself, we'll pass it here. This is going to reference, means this queue accepts unique reference attempts, and this is disabled. Leave it. Okay, now step into Okay, so this has been created. Let's go to the queue, refresh it, go to the view transactions, and you see one item has been added here. Now we are ready to run our automation. Let's stop it. And we will first disable this. Comment out. We'll start one by one. Now we'll run actual code. I'll go one by one, step by step, and I will explain each and everything. Step into the first is read config file, means initialize the config file. I have already explained in the previous video, but I will show you just here. In the read config file, we have this initialization, means it's going to initialize the dictionary. And then here, this is a log key. Here is going to use the GUID dot new GUID dot toString, and then appending with the underscore and then current date time. Now this is going to take to create a unique log key, and that's a best practice. This is for uniquely identify, we can say, each execution. So every time, every workflow, we will have this log key appended with the logs. So if you want to see that, you can open any, let's say I'll go with this digitize. So here we are preparing that, creating that log, and the same will be used everywhere. You can see there's a at the end in config of log key. So in each and every workflow, you will see that just to identify that unique logs. So earlier in the RE framework, you will have noticed that it was like saying that transaction number 1, transaction 2, transaction 3, transaction 4, right? There was no other option to identify. But now here we will have a specific log key. New, this GUID means globally unique identifier, identification identifier, like that. And then it will read the config file here, add to the dictionary. At the end, it's going to assign the maximum attempts and retry interval. Only that's thing. Let's step over. See here. So this is if attended mode with no input file nor queue, means if in this argument, if you have set it to false, and here also this is no value, so it will go and show you a pop-up so that you can select the file, and then that document, that file path will be set to the in target file. Got it? Now currently we have set this in underscore use queue argument as a true, so this will not be executed. So it will go to the false else section and then move further. So this is only used if you don't want to use queue and you are using this attended automation every time you want to select the document and you want to process that. So for that case, it will be used. Now it's going to the this main flowchart. Let's double click here. Now let's see here. We have all the DU framework options here. We'll go one by one. Step into the first initialize process. Let's open that. This is to initialize the process where it will load the taxonomy which we created in the taxonomy manager and read all the assets from the config file. Let's step over. Now moving to the using queue. So yes, we are going to use the queues. That's why it will move to this yes part and then get the transition item. Go to next, get the transition item. Now go to queue and refresh it. Now you see in progress. This is started. Now data found. It says that, let's see, it says that not string dot is null or white space in target file. If no value in the in target file, then it will go to the end process. Now we have the value because once we added this item to queue, it automatically adds that to the in target file. We'll go with the yes part. Now digitize. So it has the digitized activity with the UiPath document OCR, and then it's using that API key from assets. So let's step over, and okay, I forgot to show you that log key. So now you see in each and every, let me open this way. In each and every, you know, log message, for the start of the log message, it has the log key, right? This number underscore and then this time. Now classify. So let's step over, classification done. Now let's open the classification rules. Here it checks that, let's step into that, what is the value in your config key. Always validate classification. Yes, it's set to true. So it will come here, and here it will pass auto classification success equal to false. Means classification should not be automatically success. So it's false. So this should only be success when human validate that. Okay, now next, is it success? So no, we set it to false there. So it will go to the validate and train. Now let's step over. So it will validate, it will show a pop-up here, basically a validation window, and then it will train that. Now you see it's 59%. We'll set it invoice and save this. After that, it has trained that. Now go to step into, and now it's process each document. Let's step into here, and this is called in a for each classification results. So one by one, for each classification results is going to extract the data. So as there is only one page of invoice documents, so it will not take much time to process that. Let's extract that. So it's going to use ML, machine learning extractor. It will go with this DU project extractor. This is done. Step into, move further with the extraction rule check, where now it's going to again check that, do you want to uh, always validate extraction? So yes, we set it true, always validate that extraction results. So we'll go here, and again it will set it to false for the auto extraction success. Now there is no success, we set it to false, so it's going to validate and train. Now step over so that we can validate. It can show the validation station here. As we are using attended automation, so it's showing this. Now it has extracted each and everything. We just need to validate that. Okay, so name, this is correct. Vendor address 3217, this is the vendor address, successfully captured. Billing name, it has taken this one, ACMA. Billing address, there is no billing address here, so we can skip this, means mark it as a missing. Date, this looks correct. PU invoice number, this looks correct. PO number, this is also correct. Payment terms not extracted. Tax amount, this is 300. Net amount done. Total, this one. Discount, no discount here. Now we have items, that is table items, which is we have one item, service. One, so line item, line number one, description as a services. 12, quantity, unit price 125, and 1500, that is total amount. Now select this and confirm this is correctly extracted. Okay, now save and close. Now this is also checked. submit, and now it's going to export that. So it's same as that. We already have seen that it has export extraction result activity, which is exporting the data from the extraction results and exporting in a data set, and then in the loop, in the for each, it is taking looping through each tables and writing here based on the seat name. So you see table dot table name, and we'll say step over. Now to validate that extraction results, go to that folder, go to the project, go to File Explorer, and that is saved to the data folder exports. You see, it has taken the file name, this one, and then 111 like that. Let's open that so that we can validate the data. You see here, all the data has been successfully exported and written to this Excel file. This is the formatted one. This is the items. This is the item formatted. So we'll go with this one. So these two looks good. Okay, let's save it, close it, step into, I'll say click continue so that it can complete this execution. And this is done, right? So the first scenario, main attended using queue, is complete. Now we'll start with the second scenario, main attended without using queue. So to start with the file picker, what we need to do, let's go to the here. And as you saw previously, there was an option here where it was checking this one, this if activity. So we need to set in argument in underscore use queue. We'll set it false, and we'll also keep this target file blank. Now with this case, it will come to this true then part. Let's run this file. So you have learned each and everything from here. You have seen all the files even after opening, and then you saw that how it works. Now we'll see how it's working for the attended one using file picker. Okay, now you see it's asking to select a file. What I will do this time, I'll go with the other file. Let's select invoice one, click open, and let's check the output. So initialize has started, digitization started for invoice one PDF. So once you select that file, it automatically updates the this argument, and you see here classification started, and then this is the validation, classification station. We'll set it invoice and save. You see train classifier started, this is done, and this was something like unlock or lock one. Data extraction started for page one, and then it will again validate that, and for that it will show the validation station. Okay, now you see UiPath validation station. Let's start one by one. First, this is the RoboPro. Select vendor address. This is the one. This looks correct. This is the name. So both the name has been captured from here. This one. Billing address. This also looks correct. Date is this one. Invoice number 2170. PU number is not available for this invoice. Payment terms is there. Tax amount is not there. Net amount not available. Total amount is there. Discount not available. Now from items, you see there are two lines, service fee and additional services. Service fee and additional services. All these are the confidence score is 100%. Let's select both the one from here and save and close. Now submit it. Now you see training started and extraction is this has been exported. Let's open that export file. Now you see this time invoice 1, and you can see here data has been exported here. This is the item. Let's close that. Now we'll go with the third scenario, which is the final one, using main action center. Let's close others. Now, as we are planning to use queue for action center, we don't have any file picker here because we are not going to use attended mode. This is for unattended. So what we'll do, we'll open this attended one. We'll copy that activity from here. Let's cut it from here and we'll paste it here. Let's enable this and let's add one item here. So this time we are going to take third file. So this one is done, this is done, and now we'll take this one, copy as a path, paste this, and we'll take the file name, save, go to the reference. Got it. Let's save it. Let's close this. And now we'll quickly run this file. So all other workflow, those are reusable. So no need to change this anything. You see, everything is reusable. You're just using the same. Let's see the output. And you can see here process started. Get transfer item is started. Okay, let's go to the item. And you see this is invoice native 1. And you can see execution has been suspended and is waiting for external event to complete. Means there is a task created in the task catalog in the action center. Now let's go to the inbox and go to my task, go to unassigned, and you see just now 21 seconds ago classify hyphen this file name. Means this is validate the classification. This is already selected with 57%. Now to change that, we need to assign to self. This is UiPath Action Center. Now this is inside the pending section. We need to select again so that it can make it 100%. Now submit. This is completed. Let's go back to this and click resume. And you see data extraction has started. Now it will again pause here so that we can validate the extraction result. See, waiting for the data validation action, this one, number, suspended, wait for document data validation action and resume. Let's go to the action center one more time. Go to unassigned. This is validate hyphen invoice. Assign it to self. And now we need to validate each and every filled value. So here says that name not corrected. If you want to correct the name, name not extracted. If you want to extract the name, you can take it from here. I'll say a name, basically this vendor name. So I will take this. Correct. Vendor address. There is no vendor address here. I'll select it like this way. Billing name, it says that this one, but billing name, okay, this is correct. UiPath team. Address also looks correct. Date correct. Invoice number, this is not extracted, so we'll take the invoice number from here. PU number, this is not available, we'll mark it missing. Payment term, we don't have any payment term here. Tax amount, there is no tax amount here. Net amount, nothing. Total amount, this one, this is correct. discount missing items. Okay, now in the tables, you see currently it has, okay, it has taken 3, 1, 2, 3. We can do it like this way. We can hide this section, the first one. Now we can validate it. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, the number. Now quantity 1, 2, 2. So you see 1, 2, 2. Description also captured properly. And amount also looks correct. 4,000. Sorry, price 4,000, 80,000, 700, and this also looks correct. We'll select it from here. First line, second line, third line, correct. Now confirm. We have also the options here. There are 5 unconfirmed cell. If you want to navigate one by one, you can click on that. Else, if you want to confirm all cell, you will select it here and click on confirm all cell. So I'm okay with this. This is validated, so I will confirm that and click submit. So in Action Center, we get this option where we can select all and validate that. Now this looks completed. We'll go back to the click resume, and now it has started again after suspended. Data export has started. Transaction successful. Let's validate the transaction. This is successful. This, and recently it has created this file invoice native 1, this one. Let's open this, and you see here data has been extracted correctly. These are actually not available in the document, that's why these are blank. This is the items. There was 3 lines. This also looks correct. Let's save it and close it. So we worked on 3 invoices and 3 scenario. First, using main attended using queue, and second, main attended using file picker. Third, main action center using queue. I hope this video is useful. I hope you liked it. Thank you so much for watching.